Hello and welcome to the Garden Warrior podcast with the Garden Warrior himself, Paul Davis. I'll be joining Paul every week with a new guest from the horticultural world as we talk the science, the theory and the practical ways to approach your garden. Known for your fun and can-do manner, Paul, you're one of the UK's most fun celebrity gardeners, showing you the behind the scenes of his day-to-day business, punctuated by his funny stories and anecdotes with an insight often never before seen. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Alison.
How are you? How's your week been?
Very busy week, very busy. I'm having a nice rest this weekend.
That's so good to hear. So this week on our podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about somewhere that's very close to home for you because you live and work in Suffolk.
I do. I love it. I moved here about 3 years ago and I love the place.
That's great. So there's a very famous artist, or at least one, there's probably more than one, that's associated with Suffolk. Who is that?
It's Mr. John Constable and his friend Mr. Gainsborough.
Oh, okay, wow. And what's the association of Constable with Suffolk?
So he was born in 1776, I believe, in East Berkholt, which is a nice place to live. And I think he was schooling in Lavenham, which is just up the road from me. Beautiful Lavenham. If you've not visited Lavenham, you must visit Lavenham. And so he went to grammar school there, I think in Lavenham, in Barn Street. So he was boarding at school, so he's probably quite a clever chap in those days.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so Suffolk is also known as Constable Country.
It is. It's the most beautiful country. I mean, I never knew Suffolk very well until I moved here, but it's got rolling hills and it's got lovely landscapes everywhere. It's a vista. So yeah, that's why it's called Constable Country, because he did some lovely pictures.
What do you think was very inspiring? Like, you work in Suffolk most of the week. Like, what do you think it was for him
Well, there was lots of beautiful landscapes. So there was lots of nice iconic churches. He did a lot of pictures in churches and beautiful cottages and houses, and there's lots of rivers running through. Suffolk's a very pretty place.
There's a lot of big open spaces and a lot of sky.
Yeah, lots of sky.
Always a lot of sky.
There is a lot of sky. Yeah.
Okay, so I know Gainsborough did a painting called The View Outside Sudbury, which is in the 1740s, I think. And yeah, Constable, of course, has some of his most famous paintings. I think you have a few of them that you're a fan of.
Yeah, he did Wivenhoe Park, I think in about 1816, I think.
Okay. Where's Wivenhoe? Near Colchester? Yeah.
Yeah. The Wivenhoe's good. I've been to Wivenhoe a few times. It's a very pretty little place. You must go. And I think he did Debden Vale in 1821. And I think his most famous one that everyone's going to know is the Hayway. He did that in 1821 as well, I think. I've been to see that place. It's lovely.
Oh, have you? Where is the Hayway? Where is that?
Yeah, it's not that far from here. From me, it's about 18 miles as the crow flies.
Oh, really? Trouble is, I'm not a crow. I'll have to go in my car. I do know, actually, there's a thing called the Painter's Trail. So you can walk or cycle along the Painter's Trail. It's a 60-kilometre route where you can find some of those exact spots of some of these paintings, including the most famous Hayway. And I think you can find that online if you just Google the Painter's Trail. It will show you where to go. So we're looking at Suffolk, and you're very lucky, again, as we said, to work here pretty much all the time. In terms of the countryside of Suffolk, like from your point of view, as someone that works with nature and wildlife and gardening, what are the special plants and flowers that are native to Suffolk or that people can expect to see here?
Well, that's a very good question. The flower of Suffolk is actually called the Suffolk Oxlips.
Okay.
And that's a little yellow primula called Primula elata. Has a lovely creamy colour, yellow flowers with delicate apricot scent. So it's quite rare.
Okay.
I think you only find it now in Suffolk, and it grows on like very heavy clay soil. It doesn't particularly like full sun; it likes a dappled sunshine.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the flower of Suffolk.
I love that you said it's got a delicate apricot scent. Like it makes me now want to go and find one of them. Are they easy to find? Are there many flowering right now? Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've got some out in some clients' gardens. Fortunately, I've got some clients with many acres of gardens, and they're all out at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, and so it's the Suffolk County flower. How did that happen?
So it was voted in 2002, I believe.
Oh, right, okay.
Suffolk's country flower, and since then they've adopted it, and it's the flower of Suffolk.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So how easy is it to grow? I mean, if you've seen a lot of them around.
Yeah, it grows on a pretty poor soil, very heavy clay it likes, and it's got a special thing. It quite likes growing on cow dung.
Really? Is there a lot of that around Suffolk?
There is, if you've got any cows in your field.
That's what we need to look for. Okay. So they're quite good. You said like they like dappled sunlight. We haven't had a lot of sunlight lately, so.
No, but they are out at the moment.
They sound quite hardy then if they can survive in quite bad quality soil.
They are very hard. Most primulas are quite hardy. So we can go for the wild primulas like that one, or you can have primulas that most get through most winters. Most people buy primulas in the winter. That's one of the only ones that flowers really well through the winter. So primulas and primular.
Nice, okay.
So yeah.
So is there a good time of year? Like, what's the best time of year to plant oxlips?
So oxlips are best to plant in the autumn when we've still got some heat in the ground, and they can germinate, and then they can sort of like get in before the heavy winter, and then they'll flower. They were quite early flowering, so a lot of the animals quite like them.
Okay. And how about wildlife? I know you're a big fan of bees.
I am a big fan of bees.
Does wildlife like oxlips? I mean, with a delicate apricot scent, it sounds like everyone would like an oxlip. But
yeah, so the early bees that come out early with the early butterflies that come out, they love the oxlip because that's a source of their nectar, really. So,
okay.
So it feeds the early ones that come out, and then before all the other stuff comes out.
Okay. And beyond oxlips, what other wildflowers can be found in Suffolk?
Well, that is a very good question. So we have got so many wildflowers in Suffolk. So we've got the common mallow, we've got the marsh marigold, got some really nice names. We've got cuckoo flower.
That sounds pretty.
We've got a bog bean.
No, that doesn't sound so good.
We have a fen violet.
Okay.
We've got the great water parsnips.
Okay.
And we've got the great stitchworts.
Wow.
We have
any of those your particular favourites?
Lady Bedstraw's my favourite.
Lady Bedstraw sounds like a character from a Jilly Cooper novel.
It does, and and then a bit all the wild times that come out. Yeah, so Suffolk is a really nice place to visit.
Okay, so in terms of what you're thinking, like now we're in May now, and it's more like April weather, I think, right now.
Yeah, we're about a month behind. We've got April showers in May, haven't we,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
So what are you seeing? I know that you'd mentioned that you have a Wisteria Arch and it hasn't yet blossomed.
Well, no, I deliberately made that one flower late because one of my clients' daughter's getting married next Friday.
Oh, okay.
So she asked me to see if I could get it to flower.
How can you do that?
Well, you've got to be quite clever and lucky at the same time. So normally... well, the wisterias would be out by now.
Okay.
And normally they'd be finishing by now. So
okay.
They usually start in April and finish in early May. So I think the one is on the 20-something. So I had to sort of prune it a bit later than I normally would. So I left it as late as I could to prune it. So let's just talk about wisteria. So wisterias usually flower in, depending on what part of the country there is. So down south, they tend to flower a few weeks before the north that gets their flowers. But, so, when you prune your wisterias, after they finish flowering in the summer, you can prune them back. And then you prune them back to 6 buds.
Okay.
Or 5 buds. So you go down the stem, it would have put on a lot of growth throughout the summer.
Okay.
And then after Christmas, December, January, you can after Christmas, sorry, my Alexa wanted to talk to me.
She wants to join in.
So after Christmas you cut it down to 3 buds, and then what that does, it makes the plant want to flower really quick, and it produces these beautiful big buds. So then the later you prune it, the better, really, because then you've got 2 or 3 months for it to make some serious growth.
That's nice. So you can actually manipulate it a little bit in terms
so
of when you prune it.
You should really prune it twice a year, not just leave it. What I'd say, wisteria can take over. It's a bit of a beast if you let it run.
Okay.
And I've done some big wisterias.
And I know that you have something on your Garden Warrior YouTube channel about that, don't you? About how to trim it back. Did you say 6 buds or 3 buds? I can't remember.
So in the summer, late summer, you prune it back 6 to 5 buds, and then in after Christmas 3 to 2 buds, and then you get the plant goes into active growth then, because it's realising it needs to get flowered before the summer.
Okay, so if people wanted to find you on YouTube, do they simply search Garden Warrior Paul Davis?
Yeah, Garden Warrior Paul Davis, where you'll find all my podcasts, you'll find my TV work and my radio work, and all loads of videos if you want to get involved with gardening.
And I think you were saying if the weather holds out today, which doesn't look that hopeful, you might go out and shoot some video of some Suffolk flowers, some Oxlips or something?
I might do. I might even go down and see Mr. Constable country.
Sounds great. Okay, so people can find that on YouTube too.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Paul. Always a delight to talk to you, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you too.
Cheers, bye.